Texas and the Texas State Fair. Played here since 1942, these two programs have defined conferences, won national titles, and no matter what happens, they find their way back to each other. And when these two meet, the whole nation pays attention. Glad to have you with us from the original Cotton Bowl located on the fairgrounds in the heart of Dallas, Texas. As we'll see, the number 3 team in the country, the Texas Longhorns, taking on one of the top teams in this conference, the Oklahoma Sooners. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, let's get this thing started. Breaks into the open. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They've got it out to the 41 with a first down. Guys, the levels of hype and impatience awaiting the arrival of Arch Manning pretty much unsustainable over the last couple of years. Meanwhile, Quinn Ewers was pretty doggone good. But Arch is pretty deserving of all of this attention, I'd say, Jesse.
He's very, very talented. That jumps off the film when you watch him. You can see why he was so highly regarded coming out of high school. You can see why Texas fans are so impatient to finally watch what he does this year. Now, it's one thing to do it against Louisiana Monroe. It's one thing to do it against UTSA and Mississippi State. Can he do it against the Georgias? Can he do it against the big boys in the SEC on a consistent basis? We can't wait to find out.
He'll go out of bounds inside the 40. They'll mark it at the 39.
I'll tell you what, a few more runs like that, and defensively you start thinking more guys in the box. More big guys. I better stop this guy because he's unbelievable. Just great job breaking off the big run, and the OC is going to give him the ball some more.
Good job to avoid the negative play and just get rid of that thing. This is the kind of game, a top 25 matchup in the early season, that you look for when you're trying to build your resume.
Yeah, these are so fun because as a player you kind of get bored if you don't get challenged, but when you got an early season challenge like this, all the adrenaline, all the juice, Palmer, you're ready to rock and roll.
I love this. We've had this game circled for a long time because we learn a lot in these types of games. What are these teams about? Which conferences are better? You're going to get a lot of answers today. What's important in this game, this offense gets the running back involved out on the perimeter in space where he can do some damage. That time they got it to him throwing the football. He picked up a couple of yards, but it gives the defense something to think about.
The Longhorns come to the line on third down, trying to keep this drive alive. The sure hands, it's Wingo. Absolutely nowhere to go as this defense makes a third down stop. They were banking on the yards after the catch, but that went into the negative column.
And I'm banking on the ball coming out quick. When I'm a defense and understanding third and short, understand they're going to throw the ball really quickly, try to make a play. The defense knew it, broke on the football, made a nice tackle to
converts on fourth down, still going. And they finally make the tackle, but this will be a pretty easy conversion for this offense.
Now, what a great second effort by the receiver there. Catches the football. He knows he's got to get some yards to get that first down. Nice job understanding that, getting to the sticks and getting the first down.
They march to the red zone, and here they go. Thanks for grab. That completion will take it close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6.
Well, the defense playing zone coverage there. They're taking away all of the QB's primary options down the field, so he has to check it down to the drag running underneath.
Back to throw, it's Manning. He caught it. Couldn't quite nudge it in. Not sure you could get much closer, but it'll be first and goal. And that is why you call it a safety valve. You avoid the quarterback getting hit, and you also release the pressure that's being applied on the offense.
Defense is going to have to think about this in the future because you live and die by the blitz. It's great to try and get extra bodies getting after the quarterback, but then you risk running backs leaking out of the backfield and hurting you in the passing game.
And I can't tell you how much I love seeing corners being willing to come up and tackle. That is so huge for a defense. You can't olay blocks and create space. You can't just hang out on the outside. You got to go set that edge.
And conversely, I can't tell you.
And he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Texas!
And that's why this offense is so hard to stop, guys. This quarterback
to the 25-yard line. Wasting no time throwing on this drive. Forced out of the pocket. And he has a solid gain on the play before sliding.
Those always sting a little bit. When you get so close to getting the QB to the ground, creating a negative play, and then all of a sudden he turns it into something positive, just really annoying as a defensive guy.
Caught in the backfield, it's Kearney. Oh, he's got some space. He'll step out of bounds right at the 44, a big-time pickup on that one. Guys, Oklahoma's transition to the SEC in 2024 taught them a lesson that you might be able to get by at times without offensive consistency, but you won't thrive. So what kind of pressure, David, is the new guy under center under?
A lot of pressure, but obviously the experience, the transfer over. He was the top guy at that spot in the transfer portal. You bring in a new offensive coordinator, new weapons around them, so a revamped new Oklahoma offense. They're hoping they will match their defense, and those wins will go up and up and up.
They are lined up and ready to go and get things started here in the second. Back to throw, it's Mateer. Here comes the heat. Got his man on the right. And that was some kind of collision between a couple of big bodies there, and he stopped from getting the first down. Can't make the connection on third down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's fourth down. You know what I really like about games like this at this point in the season? You find out who you are. You find out whether you're going to stay in the race.
And who can step up and handle the challenge, right? This is easily one of the toughest games to date for both of these programs coming into this one. So there's a lot of eyeballs, David, on this game to find out who's mentally and emotionally the toughest.
Yeah, and we're going to point to this game as we get later in the year and big decisions are made. You've got a top 25 win. You beat them in the middle of the season, X, Y, and Z, so these are big for the resume.
The Sooners have their offense in high gear. He wants to throw it again. Strong pass rush gets to the quarterback, and they get him at the 46.
Really good play by this defense, and you know exactly what you're getting with this guy. Man, he is electric. He is dynamic. He'll make plays, so you've got to do a good job of containing him in the pocket. And when he starts to scramble, chase from one side. Don't overlap with another.
It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover.
And that's the problem when you're living in second and long situations. Sometimes the quarterbacks feel like they just got to go get it all back in one throw. That's what he was trying to do on that one. He forced it into traffic, and the defense made him pay, coming up with a huge
Bounces over the top. And the hurdle was probably more exciting than the run itself, considering he just picked up decent yardage.
And I love when my quarterback sees zone and knows exactly where to go with the football. Sees the wide receiver running the drag route, knows when to throw it, pulls the trigger for the easy completion.
Looking for a man. It's Manning. He tosses one high and deep down the left side. And he'll pull it in inside the 20. And he cruises his way to the house. Touchdown, Longhorn!
This offense is so good. Man, they can hurt you in so many different ways, and they do it so quick, so explosive. They can put small drives together, big drives together. They've really had a great year, and that's why they're a top 10 offense.
And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. Here comes the Oklahoma offense. This is when the pressure can ramp up a little bit on an offense, David, when they start feeling the heat to answer a score.
And I think being down 14, you can kind of feel that way. But, dude, if you put a good drive together, this is a 7-point game, so Paul, no need to panic.
I was just going to say, David, I mean, this thing can flip quick. You go down, score, all of a sudden your defense gets a stop, or who knows, better yet, gets a turnover. This game is entirely different.
Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about Oklahoma. Really interesting matchup
Obviously, there's so many teams in each conference, but head-to-head still very much matters. So if you're sitting, obviously, at the top like these teams are, the head-to-head this day will really matter down the road.
Yeah, this was a game we circled way back in the preseason, expecting these two teams to be as good as they are. And
brings it down on the right side. He'll go out of bounds right at the 30-yard line. A big play as this offense in business.
I know this isn't the start the offense wanted. They don't have any points so far in this game, but sometimes it just takes one explosive play to turn things around. And after that beautiful completion deep for the offense, that should give them a little confidence, a little momentum. They've now got to be able to score points on this drive.
He's run out of bounds, and they'll say he stepped out at the 27.
And one of the things I love about this defense is their speed. And they knew coming into the game that they were going to see quarterback run, but that time they had them all bottled up, and they were able to use their speed to make him go east and west and run him out of bounds. Not a great game.
They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker.
QB, excellent location on that throw. Out route against man coverage, you cannot miss. If you throw that behind, that might be a pick six. So nice job by the quarterback with his accuracy.
Ball's at the 26. It's 3rd and short, and they'd love to pick up the first down and avoid settling for the field goal. To the air, it's Mateer. Got it behind the line. It's Tatum. They make the stop, but there is a flag on the field. We'll see what that's all about. Holding on the offense, accepted, so they'll back up and go at it again. Let's see what they do on 3rd down. He's looking downfield to throw. Finds his big tight end. And boy, is he close to that first down, maybe just a couple of inches short. And wait just a second, the official's going to take a second look at this one. So after reviewing the undisputable video evidence, the replay booth has decided to overturn the call. The Sooners have it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw on 1st down. Good timing on the quick out. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
Yeah, and he runs a quick out route, and this is a timing route. Quarterback has to trust him, throw him the football. You can tell they've thrown this a time or two. Nice job, nice success.
And the Sooners have pushed it inside the 20. The RPO, it's complete. They'll spot the ball at the 12 after that completion. The Sooners come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to keep the drive alive. Might be changing the route. Drop play, quarterback keeps it. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and what a big 3rd down stop by this defense. So the offense is going to go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Caught near the sticks. It's Thomas. They bring him down, but he's got a 1st and goal from the 10. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. And here's the chance to cut into that lead before halftime. 1st and goal. Scanning the field, it's Mateer. Looking for the goal line. That completion will take it inside the 4, and the offense is threatening. 2nd and goal coming up. He works his way all the way down to the 3, and the defense is reeling.
And with the stuff there, Jesse, on 2nd down, this little 3rd to mid-range, you got 2 downs. What are you thinking here?
Maybe getting your quarterback out on the perimeter and giving him a run-pass option. See if you can get the defense in a bind.
Offense calls a timeout here. Critically important to make sure they have the right play call and everyone on the same page here. they've gotten it down to the 3, but now it's 3rd and goal. Got his man quickly. Give him 6. Touchdown Sooners!
And finally the offense strikes, man. Puts a drive together, gets points right at the end of the first half. Kudos to their defense keeping them in it. Now you got some momentum. Figure some things out at halftime. Right back in this ballgame.
They got the late touchdown on the board, now about to kick it away and hoping the defense can keep them from answering. And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. Gets the back moving. Trying to start the drive with a pass. Looking down the middle. A strike downfield. And the explosive play, and they're on the move all the way to the 44. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. Running out of time here in the first half. They're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. Looking for a man. It's Manning. Got his man. And the defense doesn't let him get loose, and that's going to wrap things up here in the half. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update. We're just about ready to start the second half. No reason to risk trying to field that one as it skips through the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Time for this Sooner offense to go back to work. Maybe adjustments or attitude adjustments, but they've got to find a way to run the ball at least some here in the second half.
I do think you said something that's important. I think running the football is an attitude. Like, it starts with the offensive lineman and being physical, having a nasty attitude. Running back, same thing. I think they need more of that in the second half.
You know, and I think if any of you are this defense, you have an opportunity to make a statement here. Yeah, I know you guys went in at halftime and you riled yourself.
And the defense makes a play, and they get the quarterback down at the 26.
And I think that time he was trusting his pocket awareness and his arm a little bit too much. You've got to remember, you're one of the best athletes in the country playing the position. If you see a crease, you just got to take off and get it.
They'll go to work in the air on second down. Oh, it's picked off. That's not the start they hoped for. He managed a few yards on that return, but the bigger play was the fact that they forced the turnover. And here come the Horns. They've got it again on offense. They'll come out on this drive and let it rip. Pulls it in. It's Moore. They got him free for a big gainer to the 43.
Well, when you're running the drag route against man coverage like that, as a quarterback, you got to put the ball out in front of your target. And when you do that, you give the guy a chance to then advance the football up the field, pick up a first down like they did right there.
Wants to throw. It's Manning. Got it in the middle. It's Wingo. That's the 20. He's got space. They make the stop, but not before he sets them up with a first and goal from the 10. The Longhorns are in the hurry-up. Wants to go up top on first down. And he's on his way. He'll go all the way. Touchdown, Texas! They've extended this lead, guys, but sometimes in a rivalry game, you get down and you fight back that much harder.
Man, you've seen crazy comebacks and crazy swings of momentum in rivalry games. You just need that first thing to break your way.
And I think it really comes down to their key playmakers, David. They can come back, but these guys need to take ownership. Now's the time. In this type of game, they have got to step up and start making plays.
Here come the Sooners ready to go on offense. Now we'll get a chance to see if they can answer that last score, trailing by 14, Jesse.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, I feel like offensively, you should go back to what's been working for you in this game. Don't be afraid to